YouTube. It's your boy Team Gilbert again. The reason for the video is usually when I go fishing, I get a lot of questions about my setup, my drone drop rigs, my weights, etc., my hooks. My weights are custom, so guys always ask, hey, where'd you get that? How'd you do? I make them, and I go on YouTube and I explore different methods on how to make my own custom stuff, because it has to be appropriate for what you're doing regarding fishing. Most guys they cast maybe 100 feet. You know, if you're one of them old guys that fish with 1 ounce and you bench pressing 450 pounds, and maybe you can cast 150 feet. But with drones, you go out a quarter mile or so, if not more, and your weight, the depth of the water could be anywhere from, I guess, 40 feet to 200 to 700 feet, depending on where you at. So let's just get into it and show some stuff here. Okay, it was an 8. I wanted a 7. I left it like this to show you guys. I pre-cut the holes to make my Sputnik, put my Sputnik spikes in there to make it a no-roll sinker. But it was very, very simple. I just got the 8. I had a scale next to me. I filed each groove because that's where the Sputnik grips are gonna go into once I insert them. And I just kept putting it on the scale and filed until I got my desired weight, which was a 7. 7 is appropriate for drone drop. Okay, because between that and your bait, you don't want nothing extremely heavy. I've used more than 7 before. I've used 12, 10, stuff like that. But 7 seems to get you there and stay stuck. So again, I just drilled the cross, go in there, cross, and you bend your spikes. And most of the guys at the end of this, you know exactly where I'm going with this. I didn't clean it up, but I did work on it. I started. This is one that I didn't do anything to. Now this is a 6. It's just kind of extra weight. I'm not going to do anything to this, but just to show you the difference in the transformation there. You see that groove? Look, that's weight I cut off. So this was an 8 and I wanted a 7. For me to make this 6 or 7, I would have had to build on to it. So that's the reason you go a little higher and you take off. That's for that particular application regarding weights. Now, these are more custom. Okay, these are still unfinished, but for the most of the guys that know about Sputnik sinkers, breakaway sinkers, they know the function and what their function is. And that is to lay down and grip the sand. And when it grips the sand and you're content with where you're wedged at, you leave it. When you want to retrieve, bam, these guys are going to unlock. And then it's going to come to you so. Okay? So once you got this thing loaded, bam, there you go. And again, these are custom. I did drill the holes ahead and spruced them up pretty good. And I painted them for a change. Just out of boredom, I painted them, and because I like my sport. Here's another one. Now, these are 7s precisely. What I did is I went to Home Depot and I got a couple of shapes. I wound up getting, I believe it was a curtain rod end, and I molded it, and it came out fabulous. I threw it on the scale. It was 7 on the nose. Ecstatic. It's kind of like, keep that mold, keep that piece. So this is no different. I just didn't do as much work, but it's still breakaway function. If you lay it down, of course, it's gonna be in this orientation. Once you drop, because you're coming from here with your line that's connected to your pole. So when you retrieve, it's coming that way. It's no different than this one. It's just a little, made the spikes a little longer, different color. When you retrieve, you're coming that way. So that's some of the weights. But again, a lot of guys ask me about it. They're custom. You could do it too. Just send me a message or something, email or something. I'll walk you through it. There's some simple ways to do it, some hard ways to do it. And then if you got the bread, go ahead and just buy the mold. But the mold ain't gonna come out as cool as this. It's just a sinker mold. You know what I mean? Like any other sinker mold. You won't be unique at all when you go fishing. I've went fishing and lost weights and come back and guys be like, yeah, I found this. Why? It's unique. It's a drone dropping weight. These guys ain't casting these. You're not casting 7, 8, 10 ounces. You'll get nowhere. Okay, moving along. In previous videos, I've explained to you guys about these lights. These are crucial. This is the day and age, modern day, like, I guess, discovery, for lack of better words, in regards to fishing. You see when it gets wet, that's the moisture, just the moisture off my hand, and this thing lights up. I clip them to my line. Little, not so close to the bait, but not to where you want the fish to hit the light. You don't want him to go after the light. You want him to see the light and see the bait dangling here. So you only want about a 6 to 8 inch gap between your light and your hook. That's one method of using these lights, these drop lights they call them. Moving along. These are the hooks that I use. Okay, these hooks are also custom. Okay, they're also custom, and I make them from scratch. They have running hooks on them. And what I say by running is, first off, I have tracers on them, which won't allow my steel leader to get crinkled, and it won't get tangled in the air. No knots. This is knot free, 100%. But what I mean by running hooks, you see these hooks, don't you? Okay, hopefully you can. There's 1, 2, 3 hooks. Now the cool thing about those hooks are, when you want them in the position you want them on your bait, you just slide it down. You understand? Just slide it on down. And if you have a small bait, slide it on down. And if you want, slide it on down. Now, what I do is, I have it in that orientation. If you can see that. Okay, now I'm going through my bait. Sometimes if you got a big bait or whole bunker, whole fish, yeah, you can extend that bad boy. Go one in the head, one in the middle, one in the tail. These octopus are luminous. So what they do is they take a cast off the light, and this sparkles underwater with the bait there. I can't see nothing more tempting than this. Now, the thing is, these are, just for the record, they're like 3 feet long. Okay, so I got them from a swivel, bead, steel leader in there, all the way. Everybody knows the steel leader crinkles. Okay, it's not the cheapest, it's not the worst, but it ain't cheap. And the good stuff is hard to get anyway, the gray. I had to order this stuff. But I got that on a 3-foot line with luminous octopus and circle hooks. These hooks are more effective because when you're dropping out there and you plant your weight in the dirt, your bait is dangling. A quarter mile out, you ain't sticking no fish. You can keep your drag tight and he'll hook himself. But you know, the chances of you sticking fish is very, very slim at that distance. So this is just a little bit of my setup. And of course, you need more than one hook. I usually use 2 to 3 hook setups. So that would be, let's just say 3. That would be 3, 6, 9 hooks. Although it's all going into one bait, which actually counts for 1 hook. Just 3 different chances to get them. But these have the same function. I'm never going to change. You want uniform in anything you do. So when I suggest, when you set up your stuff and you making your rigs, you line them up and you go meticulously piece by piece. If you go down the line with these 2, they're identical. Okay? I mean, you can change your colors up with your beads or whatever have you, but bead, cramp, octopus, hook, leader, hook, leader, octopus, hook. They're identical. You don't want nothing no different. And what you can do if you want to be different, you put clam here and something else here, and you send them out and you keep them about 8 to 10 feet apart on your drop line. That would be successful wherever you at in this world, because when you going deep out there, you getting around fish that the regular guys don't have access to. The boats do, but they don't. If I get a chance, I'll put up a clip of what happens when you go drone fishing and compared to fishing next to guys that don't. You're gonna outdo them 10 to 1. Just because of the distance purposes. Just because of distance and depth of water, and you get to pick your own spots, you can kind of search around, see where there's a good spot to drop once you get good at it. But before I forget to tell you guys, okay, this is another effective method. What I do is these lights, when I don't want to go so big with these guys, right? When I don't want to go so big. I mean, I know everybody in Brooklyn is using these now. So these go right on, like, you know, you just hook them right on, and they're kind of small, and they go between here, and then, you know, when they get wet, they flash a little bit. No, that's all right. So this is how this is actually supposed to be, but I altered it, and I put swivel clips on these bigger weights that cast off more light, and the reason I got that bead there is because the swivel won't make it past the bead. So what you do, open up your swivel, put your line on, close your swivel. Jesus. Okay, close your swivel. No, this is crazy. Okay, close your swivel, and there you have it. So this is where you'll be at. That's the depth. That's at least, and again, it's about 6 to 8 inches. It looks closer than it is because I have that sliding hook slid up, because that hook goes where I want it to. Okay, so if I want, I just bring it on down. You know, bring them on down. If you want them a little further away from your light, bring that bad boy on down. That's it. And there you go. It's that simple. Everything, like I said, the light is here. The bait is way over here. Even if the fish just show interest in the light and he's scared of it, he's going to see that bait here. That's a significant amount of space for a fish to get up a little courage. Same here. It's no different. Just, again, identical setups. Just wanted to run you through it. Team Gilbert. As always, tight lines, happy hunting. And again, I'll see if I can put up some videos of my making and drone dropping in the, as I said, the fish that I catch because of the methods I use. If you like your sport, you put something into it. Okay, you'll be a little different. You figure out what works. You let that complement your style. Okay, when I go fishing again, I lose these, I come back. Here you go. I lose these. It hurts a little more than when you lose these and you lose the weight that you just bought out the store, obviously. However, these function so much better, and you can make them to your making. That just steps the game up 100%. Once again, my reason for making this video is to answer a lot of questions that guys ask me out there on the water. It's a lot easier to explain when you're not trying to watch your pole and maybe even watch a drone return from, like I said, a quarter mile, half a mile out. So I took the time out to dedicate this video to my New Yorkers and fishermen abroad. Big G, Team Gilbert, thank you for watching. Tight lines, happy hunting. Hope to see you. Bakatao.